Welcome to Basic Brewing Video. I'm James Spencer.
I'm Steve Wilkes.
We're going to do a split batch experiment today. And just to prove that I don't always do small batches, I did a bigger batch today. I did a 10-gallon batch of my cream ale, and I split it in two and pitched it with different yeasts.
Wow. Who's bigger, baby bigger or mama bigger?
Baby bigger, because she's just a little bigger.
Just a little bigger.
Welcome to Romper Room.
That's right.
So let me talk about how I brewed the beer first of all. And
Okay.
we have the two samples. We have A, and we have B.
And B.
And we have little sampler cups here. So if you'll do me the honor of pouring while I talk about how to brew the thing,
All right.
we shall taste afterwards. Okay,
can do
so
that.
it's a 10-gallon batch. So I put 18 pounds or 8.2 kilograms of American two-row and 2 pounds or 907 grams of flaked maize into 10 gallons of water at 161 degrees Fahrenheit or 38 liters at 72 C. And I did brew in a bag in my big old kegel, and I rested at 152 Fahrenheit for an hour. And then I took it out and I sparged in a separate pot. And boy, that is tricky getting that big old bag out of that kegel, I tell you. And then I sparged with 3.5 gallons or 13 liters of water at 170 degrees Fahrenheit or 77 C. And I boiled, since I had so many hops, I used a hop bag for the bittering hops. So at the 60-minute mark, I put 4 ounces or 113 grams of Czech Saaz pellets for 60 minutes, and then 2 ounces or 56 grams of Czech Saaz pellets at flame out. The original gravity was 1053, and I split the batch and I pitched US 05 and Nottingham yeast.
Sheriff of?
Yes. Now it's interesting, and we did a blind tasting for the audio podcast, so go to the Basic Brewing Radio feed and take a look at that, or
Yeah.
take a listen to that if you want.
You can't see it because it's blind.
That's right. Well, you can look at it all you want.
Yeah.
It's the sound that counts. So A is the Nottingham yeast, and it finished out at 1012, which gave it an ABV of 5.4%. B is the US05. It finished out at 1010, so 2 points lower. So it's at 5.7% ABV. So the Nottingham finished with a little tiny bit higher gravity than the US05.
All right.
So we tasted this a few months ago, and it'd be interesting to see if we notice any difference in the flavors this time. Do we notice any difference in the appearance, first of all? Not much, if any.
No. I'm going to say negative.
Yes. Okay, so
Okay.
now the fun part.
All right. So tasting for dollars. Okay.
That's good.
That's the Nottingham.
Nottingham,
Nottingham.
if you want
I think
to be,
it's very
I think
nice.
that's appropriate.
The Faversham. There is a difference.
Both are tasty, though.
Yes.
Both
They're very
are
tasty.
good. Now, what are your prejudices if you were to have prejudices with British yeast versus American yeast, especially US05? What would you think you would experience?
I think I would experience the British yeast that I have used tend to finish very quickly and sometimes not attenuate all the way like I'd like them to. They're supposed to flocculate like crazy, except that hasn't been my experience on occasion. And then the other prejudice I would have is I would expect it to be a little more fruity, a little more estery, and that is exactly what I think has happened here.
Now, I think, what about hoppiness? You would think that the US05 would feature the bitterness or the hoppiness better than the English yeast. And different strains of English yeast that I've used, it kind of dulled the hoppiness or dulled the bitterness. But I think it's opposite in this case.
Yeah, it is opposite day. So
It's bizarre.
Going with our romper room theme, I agree with you. However, neither of these beers are very hoppy. These
No.
are
No, this is not like an IPA or
no, or even
or a
an
pale ale.
India Session Ale.
Right.
It's going around these days.
That's right.
No, these are not about hops, but I agree with you that the hops are more. They're showcased just a little bit more with the Nottingham.
And I think the Nottingham in this case is a little brighter, a little cleaner, a little crisper, maybe, in my opinion. The body, even though the USO5 finished a little lower, I think it has a little bit more mouth feel, a little bit more.
The Nottingham?
Yeah,
Yeah, I do too.
I think so.
I prefer the Nottingham beer all the way around. They're both fine beers. Nothing wrong with them. Either one. I just prefer the Nottingham has a little more mouthfeel. I'm going to say what you just said. It's just a little bit more in every category. So yeah.
And I think that it is a fairly significant difference. It's not like a lot of times when we do triangle tests and such as that, we try to pick out the one that's different and try to elaborate on what's different about each beer. But I think that if you handed me one of these and asked me which one was which, I could probably tell. Mainly because I've had a lot of them.
10 gallons of them. 5 gallons of each.
There's not much left of that 10 gallons. And I've had most of it, frankly. I brewed it back in, what was it, January or something like that. Yeah, January 20th was the brew day.
I agree. I think that they're very different beers.
Mm-hmm.
And
very good.
very good.
That's a good recipe, by the way.
Yeah.
If you want a good kind of sessionable, clean summer beer, summer's coming up, it's going to be hot.
Hot.
I recommend that. It's just a kind of a poor man's porter. If you don't want to or not a poor man's porter, a poor man's pilsner. If you don't want to go through the lagering phase, I think that the Nottingham yeast with this recipe might be a good idea.
It's very tasty. Definitely. But the USO5 is a good beer too.
Sure.
I mean, boy, somebody else might have a completely different take on these, but
Right.
But I do think we're in agreement, and sometimes we're not. So it's fairly clear cut.
Very good.
I could drink another 5 gallons of that.
We'll have to make it. So there you go. It's a simple show, a simple recipe.
Yep.
You can look in the archives, and we did. It was the cream ale and fish tacos show where I did.
That's right.
I did the 5-gallon batch
Yep.
of this, and I used USO5 on that one. So if you want the smaller recipe, you can either cut this one in half, or go back to that show and see how we did then.
Boy, I think I'll finish this off camera.
Yes. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Happy brewing.
Come and visit us on the web. At basicbrewing.com, you can find archive lists of both our audio and video podcasts on home brewing. You can also find our DVDs, Extract Brewing and Partial Mashing, Stepping into All Grain, Low-Tech Lagering and Decoction Mashing, Introduction to Wine Kits, and our Basic Brewing Brewer's Logbook, where you can track and log up to 50 batches of beer. Drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. Write to James at basicbrewing.com, Steve at basicbrewing.com, or just use the contact form on basicbrewing.com.
I'm going to see what happens if I blend them.
Ah!
Did I ruin something?
No.
Oh, good. Oh.